Presidency reacts as Emefiele exposes beneficiaries of massive corruption in CBN. We have been waiting for him to speak all this while. We know that his 9 years as the CBN governor was not a joke. It was not for fun. And even though he has taken his own chunk of benefits that also have a corruption proceed in it, he has supported a lot of people for them to have supported him when he was supposed to be there for about 5 years, and he ended up staying 9 years. Probably would have been still be there by now. So he cannot just be harassed and oppressed like this, persecuted like this, and he fails to speak. Even though they might be member of one group or the other with a covenant or oath binding them, at a point, everybody will dance his own music. So now that he has chosen to speak out, let's go into the details to see exactly what he's talking about, what his confession will look like. The presidency has cautioned bank executives indicted by the Special Investigative Team set up to investigate the Central Bank of Nigeria activities under its former governor, Godwin Emefiele. Politics Nigeria learned that some bank executives and business mongoose have been making frantic moves to reach out to top aides of the president in the villa to find a soft landing for themselves. Can you imagine? Some industry players, it was gathered, met with Tinubu to give them a soft landing on the special investigation headed by Jim Obaze. So this is even as the panel gets ready to submit its interim report to President Bola Tinubu in the coming days. Presidential sources said Emefiele had mentioned some of the bank chiefs as either beneficiaries of the sleaze funds or accessories who facilitated the disbursement of the monies under investigation. So one of the sources noted that some of the bank's chiefs who benefited from the Anchor Borrowers Program and business mongoose involved in dollar round-tripping had earlier trailed the president to Paris, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia when he visited. So the source said the bank chiefs and top businessmen went to see the president in a last-minute move to stop the Obaze-led team from including them among those to be arraigned for prosecution. They can't help it now. We need to know their names. We need to know their names. The president washed his hands off the case because it is a matter solely for the special investigator and his team, and he is unlikely to interfere. So they should be ready to defend their actions if called upon, a source close to the president said. I just hope that is true too, because Nigerian system is a case of the more you look, the less you see. Okay, so what is happening here shows that people have been mentioned. But if Emefiele mentions names and he does not mention Tinubu as one of the business mongoose or one of the high-powered individuals that are influencing the activities of CBA in Nigeria, then the confession is not complete. Frankly speaking. It's not complete. Because there are key people that Nigerians are waiting to hear their names in Emefiele's confession. He must mention probably some of the CEOs and the executive directors of some banks, and probably the CEOs and executive directors of some high-powered business entities in Nigeria, and some strong politicians. So if he does all this and he still does not mention some high-powered politicians in Nigeria, then his confession is also not complete. We understand that how do I put it? There is a spectrum, or rather a scope, that is defined under this investigation, which is about a specific fund that was laundered and shared and all of that. And so probably investigations and confessions will be limited to the scope of this fund. But then that will also not do Nigerians any good, because like some people are saying, that if Tinubu wants to prove to Nigerians that he's fighting corruption, then he needs to touch every facet. He needs to touch everywhere. He doesn't need to do it with sentiment. That is it. But already now, with the people that have been, confessed, trying to, contact Tinubu to find a soft landing, I wonder how that will go. And Tinubu saying that he has no influence, he washed off his hands, He doesn't want to be part of it. It is an independent investigation. I also think that is political, because if somebody key to him or that can confess him gets involved, he will definitely do something for such person. It's a very unpalatable situation. But I know that Nigerian investigation is just wishy-washy. It's not going to land anywhere. It's just abracadabra. The more you look, the less you see. Okay? So let's get, some people are already making comments and reacting to this statement that Emefiele is beginning to confess. And somebody said they should face the consequences of their shady deal with Nigerian money. They are thieves, merciless, and real criminals. Nigerians need to see the bottom of this. If found involved, they should be prosecuted and return the fund by all means. In fact, they're supposed to face firing squad. Okay. And somebody said, I think the President Tinubu, I like President Tinubu for this action. There should be an attempt to put an end to impunity and corruption in Nigeria. Is Tinubu innocent? That is the question you should ask yourself. Please, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, don't listen to their pleadings. Court of laws and our judges should also stand up to their responsibilities. The truth is Tinubu innocent in all of this? If we are to go into the details, Tinubu might not be innocent. And the more Tinubu proves to be hard, the more he might be exposed. The more someone, or the more likely that someone will confess Tinubu into all of this. I like President Tinubu for this action, where that is his own. Okay, who corrupt past Tinubu in this country? That question when somebody they ask you, say who corrupt past Tinubu in this country? Somebody is asking, is Tinubu not corrupt? Please, this is a simple question. And that's exactly what I'm saying, that if Emefiele is to confess thoroughly, and if the people confessed are also to confess thoroughly, I don't think that Tinubu will escape this investigation. Nigerians, stop killing yourselves over these people. Now, them. This is the same initial gragra Buhari did, and what later happened. This case is just like Olisametu versus Buhari. Tinubu will still discuss with them because they all have each other's secret. And that is the truth. I rest my case with what this guy has spoken. They all have their each other's secret, and they watch each other's back according to their oaths or covenant or whatever you can call it. So Tinubu definitely will react at some point to save some people from the disgrace. And then somebody saying, well, it's a Me Too. That case is strictly politics, but this one is clearly misappropriation of funds. Well, it's then given the money by president for politics. Okay, these people were supposed channel agricultural loan to farmers as agent and earn their commission for management. Okay, but it not go work. That story, whether it's a Me Too case is political and this one is misappropriation of fund, it's all the same thing. It's all about corruption, fight for corruption. Okay. Somebody said exactly, my brother, nothing will come out of it. Just last. Definitely nothing will come out of it. We're not expecting anything meaningful to come out of it. All these are just initial gragra, which Buhari started, but they didn't sustain it. Deal with mongoose, they don't turn Niger to their personal bank. Okay, good. The stand of the president is excellent. That is, if he will sustain that stand, or if there's no political undertone to his stand. If nobody the investigative, all this now politics, now wash. I sincerely agree as well. So thank you for listening, and let's have it fun.